Another one of those shows I wish I didn't have to record. And I'm going to have to deal in vague generalizations. What is this about? Collectivist mindset. Usually, normally, but not always, because I don't want to engage in collectivism here in this discussion and say collectivists, they're all on the left. All leftists are collectivist mindsets. As Dennis Prager said, there is a difference. And he is right, and I talk about it in my constitutionalist politics books. A classical liberal is not the same as a full-on leftist ideologue, although we lump them together as liberals in general. Look at Brandon Strzok. Yes, I've discussed it elsewhere. With the SPLC fraud, creating the whole tiki farce, which led to the false narratives about Trump's very fine people. Yes, he said that. But what they are trying to distort the context of is a hoax, is an outright lie. And Brandon Strzok is one of those former a white gay man. Shouldn't matter, but it does to some people, especially the left. Again, not all, but most. Because what are you seeing here online from the left? The collectivist mindset, normally, identity politics. Brandon Strzok, a gay white man, he must think a certain way. He must be a Democrat. Because, all those collectivist mindsetting, lumping identity politics, all of those Republicans are racist and sexist and homophobic and Islamophobic and blah, 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 phobic. So this show is about collectivism. Brandon Strzok was presented the video, the full video, the whole video, and it's amazing. You can actually still find it on YouTube of the DOT presser with Elaine Chao, where he made remarks. Brandon Strzok was presented with the video. He actually watched the video and finally woke up to the fact that CNN was lying to him. Did he say very fine people on both sides? Yes, he did. And when you watch the video, it is 1000% clear. He said it about the statue debate. There are fine people who think the statues need to be preserved. I'm on that side. You don't teach history by trying to erase and bury history. And others who think the statue was a reminder of something offensive, so they'd rather it not be on prominent display. That can still be a fine person if they understand that you indeed can't just erase and whitewash the history. So, what brought this on? Another show, and let me say, collectivists, in my mind anyway, I think it should be in your mind, automatically discredit any other argument they make because they are disrespecting the Bible. They are disrespecting Martin Luther King Jr.'s content of character, individualism. Not all this are the same, not all that are the same. No matter what group you might be able to be lumped in, with you are still an individual. And the content of your character as an individual, as opposed to whatever collectivist group you might potentially also be lumped in with, is what matters. Collectivism throws that out. It is anti-Christian. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech is an individualism. Content of character is rooted in the Bible. So collectivism is atheism. Collectivism is anti-Christian. Now, I could give some specific examples, but I don't want to go there because I know the likes of Media Matters and others will then, oh, he's defending all blah, blah, blah. He's defending all this. He's defending all people that were bad. Whatever negative group in history, there were individuals, try to be vague and general here, there were individuals that got caught up in that and may have been involved in some small way that really doesn't mean they were part of the overall collectivist group. They were just trying to get by. Now, you might say they were a bit weak, they should have stood up, they coulda, woulda, shoulda, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not conflating, and I use that word advisedly because I was accused of conflating this and that because I called out someone's collectivist mindsetting, collectivist speak. All pit bulls are mean and angry and dangerous and should all be put to death. That is a collectivist mindset. Now, I'm not conflating dogs with people. And if someone says that about Group A or Group B or Group C, oh, none of them can be trusted. They are all equally as bad. They are all, that is a collectivist statement. The statement I said about pit bulls, which I don't believe, but you hear some people say it, and indeed, unfortunately, a lot of pit bulls have been indeed nurtured and trained to be that way. That doesn't mean all of them. That's the point here. Collective pit bulls or humans, it matters not. Lumping any group of anything together. Snakes, cobras are not the same as water snakes. Not all snakes are created equal. Not all humans. Oh, that's a dangerous route to go. Not all humans are created equal. You know I don't mean that. You know what I mean in that, yes, we are all created in the image of God, but we are given free will. We are not all equal in the sense that we think alike. Again, I'm speaking in collectivist terms. So we are not all equal in that collectivist state. And in America, we are promised equal opportunities, not equity of outcome. Atlas Shrugged, the Bradford Colony, you've heard me talk about it before. Jesus said, the poor will always be among you. That's a human nature statement. We aren't all created. We are all created equal, but again, our free will. There are people who will choose evil. There are people who will choose lazy. They will not do anything to help themselves, especially if there's some moron always willing to give them something, and they never have to work for anything. So I hope I've successfully recovered there. I know what I mean, and I think you know what I mean there. And that's why communism fails. It refuses to recognize human nature, that some will choose to be lazy, and like at the Bradford colony, eventually there's too many people demanding to be pulled in the cart left for those that are then unable to pull the cart. But collectivist mindset, doesn't matter if you're talking dogs or snakes or humans, any collectivist application discredits and negates any and every other argument you have. You have no credibility, none whatsoever. So if you're talking all plants, all dogs, all cats, all humans of a particular type or group, you're engaging in collective mindset speak. And we are individuals. Again, God-given free will. Some will choose evil. Some will choose laziness. Some will choose whatever. That's why Martin Luther King Jr.'s biblical statement about content of character is proper, is valid. Not, oh, Martin Luther King Jr. was black. Well, that must dismiss him because those blacks can't be trusted. No, that's not conflating all blacks with whatever other group you want to identity politic collectivist speak. And of course, I didn't mean what I just said. It will be distorted and taken out of context. I'm making a point. And no, and he knows who he is, that is not conflating the all blacks this or that argument with the all whatever, your argument, which is a collectivist mindset speak. And no amount of you wriggling and wiggling and trying to use words like conflation, which is really a Linsky deflection tactic, eliminates your collectivist speech that you gave 2 weeks in a row now, and why I'm here countering it. At any rate, I'm going to wrap it up again. So it doesn't matter what species or what anything, you cannot lump all of A, B, X, Y, or Z into a collectivist, definitive lumping. We are individuals. Now, does that mean I'm going to trust any cobra snakes because, hey, that cobra might be different than that cobra? No, we're talking nature there and root mechanisms of the animal species there. And remember, I spoke with Leslie Hall. Yes, we have an animal side, so we have to be careful of that. So if I'm coming up to a cobra, absolutely I'm going to steer clear. Any rattler snake that's poisonous, that's venomous, I'm going to steer clear of. That's being sensible. That's not me attempting to apply a collectivist mindset that says, well, that cobra is for sure going to attack me. No matter what I do, it's going to attack me. No, that's generally not how cobras work either. Most rattlesnakes, they curl up and they rattle as a warning for you to steer clear of them so they don't then feel further threatened and feel they need to strike out in defense of themselves. That's not a conflation. That's not a collectivist mindset. That is a understanding of nature. But indeed, one cobra might indeed be very and overly aggressive and looking to attack anything and everything that comes in a 30-mile radius of it, while others indeed may be just concerned about defending themselves and their territory and wanting you to steer clear of them. So that is an individual application, not a conflation, not a collectivist statement, but dealing in the reality of the world while at the same time recognizing not anything is an exact clone of everything else you want to lump as a collectivist into one pile. Now, I understand that last part kind of. Collectivists will, of course, try to, well, he destroyed his own argument. I know you know what I mean. The collectivists will, of course, Olinsky style, try to deflect and make excuses for their collectivist human lumping mindset. Oh, I'm conflating snakes and humans. His argument has no weight, is not valid in any way. I am applying individualism to all things. They are applying collectivism, maybe indeed in only one or two cases, but in so doing, they don't get to claim to be devotees of the Bible and Martin Luther King Jr. and individualists. You can't claim you're an individualist 1 week and then 2 weeks in a row apply collectivist speech. Thank you all. Take care. God bless. If you haven't gotten it, I dare say listen again and again and again, because I know thinkers, if you're a thinker, you will get what I'm saying. But the emotional, hysterical, especially collectivist mindset folks, well, I was going to say won't get it. No, they might get it. They're just going to refuse to acknowledge they get it. An excuse and a deflection to keep saying their collectivism speeches. Anyway, take care. God bless. Love you all. Wait. Don't go away yet. I thought I hit record again because I thought of something else I should throw in. The Russian people are not my enemy. Some of them are. Putin is my enemy. The CCCP, the old Soviet mindset, those people are my enemy. They individually are my enemy. As part of the group to which they themselves choose to label under the banner of, the banner itself isn't my enemy. The mindset of those individuals are my enemy. All Chinese are not my enemy. Xi Jinping and the CCP is my enemy. Now, yes, a lot of Chinese, unfortunately, will end up being lumped in they're kind of my enemy because why? They are propagandized too. The same with other groups. So, but I'm making this as the example. Same with Russians. A lot of them might not oppose Putin and the Soviet mindset because they don't have access and freedom of information flow like we do here in the West. So they are propagandized. They are duped. They are easily fooled. But they can be potentially shaken from their mindset, their what they would otherwise not agree to want to be part of. Again, let me go back to Brandon Strzok. He, when presented with the factual information and got out of the indoctrinated, propagandized, woke, pathetical corruptness, trained, indoctrinated, snowflakey feeling state, he would normally allow himself to sadly be ginned up in. When he engaged his brain and was presented with fact, he demonstrated his individuality and showed indeed he is a thinker. He can be engaged with logic and reason and will think, but it took a lot of shaking to get him to shake free from his knee-jerk, leftist, snowflake feelings. But CNN said, but the MSNBCs said, the propaganda stations feed all kinds of people with drivel, delusional unicorn fart fantasy idiocy, and sadly, they just want to coast. They just want to get along. A lot of their friends think that way, so they allow themselves to be sucked up in it. But as an individual, if and when you reach them, they can be reached. Am I making sense here? I'm talking individualism, not collectivism. Lumping all of anything and now, fruits and vegetables, very different. There are classifications. Yes, we have classifications and divisions for a reason. This, by definition, makes something a fruit. This, by definition, makes it a vegetable. Vowels are vowels and constants are consonants, but yes, on occasion, there's an exception, right? Sometimes Y for AEIOU, sometimes, oh boy, as an author here, I'm drawing a blank and forgetting the old adage we were taught growing up about vowels versus consonants. But yes, there are classifications and designations and definitions that tend to put something in one box or another. That's different than actual creatures with abilities to think to some degree. Again, snakes to dogs to cats to humans. Humans are a whole different thing, obviously, than snakes or pit bulls. But pit bulls and snakes still have a degree of consciousness and thinking ability. So they are all not 100% the same, even though by definition they fit in that box. They are not all the same as everything else in that box. Is this making sense to you? I think it should. I think that if you're a thinker, you will get this, as long as you're not in that collectivist mindset looking for any excuse to avoid accepting what I'm saying. All right, anyway. I get that I'm struggling here to convey these thoughts because the collectivist I'm talking about here is engaging in snowflakism. They don't want to let go of their feelings. So they will never admit, and they will lash out, and they will make any excuse to defend their collectivist statement. And I'm just trying to find any analogy, any metaphor, even though I like to joke, I'm far too clever for metaphors. I use meta sixes. Right? So yes, I've struggled a bit to try to make my points, but I know thinkers will get it. So just going to have to leave it at that. Thank you all. Take care. God bless. Love you all.
It ain't all sweet songs by the fire, warm hands, soft words, pretty choirs. If I cut out the thorns from the story, I'd be dressing up a grave as glory. This is tough love gospel, not just campfire shine. If I sand down the edges, I turn truth into a lie. Reality or delusion, I can't serve both sides. I'm not here just for the choir, I'm here where the hurt hearts hide. Yeah. Some pages bleed red in the margins, hard lines, hard calls, hard bargains. If I skip over storms for your comfort, then your house gets washed in the flood water. This is tough love gospel, not just campfire shine. If I sand down the edges, I turn truth into a lie. Reality or delusion, I can't serve both sides. I'm not here just for the choir, I'm here where the hurt hearts hide. Oh, do you want a dream or do you want a mirror? Do you want a joke or do you want it clearer? If the truth cuts deep, let it cut through fear. Better scars that heal than a sweet lie in your ear. This ain't cotton candy truth, ain't a campfire sing-along rhyme. You can't sell sweet dreams while the house burns behind. If it never cuts deep, it was sugar all along. If you skip the hard pages, you just rewrote the song. This is tough love gospel, not rainbows on a wire. If you hide the hard words, you're just fanning the fire. I won't preach delusion just to make it sound lighter. If I only soothe the choir, I'm a singer, not a fighter. You can hum all the feel-good lines while your neighbor breaks inside. Quote hope like a slogan, then look away from the crime. But a bandage on a bullet wound is a pretty little lie if the truth never offends us. Did we ever even try? This is tough love gospel, not rainbows on a wire. If you hide the hard word, you're just fanning the fire. I won't preach delusion just to make it sound lighter. If I only soothe the choir, I'm a singer, not a fighter. I'd rather lose that crowd than sell them painted grace. I'd rather stand alone and smile and dodge the weight. Don't ask for easy comfort, then curse the honest cost. Love that never warns you will leave you more than lost. This is tough love gospel, not rainbows on a wire. If you hide the hard words, you're just fanning the fire. I won't preach delusion just to make it fighter. Oh, if I dress up the danger, I'm a liar, not a writer. Tough love. The Bible isn't just rainbows and lollipops, singing kumbaya around the campfire. You cannot ignore the harsh reality drops. To peddle such makes you a liar. Reality versus delusion, speaking not just to the choir. This, that, and in all things transpires.
Like and subscribe to Constitutionalist Politics Podcast and share episodes. We need your help. Thank you for having tuned into another Constitutionalist Podcast show. I really appreciate that you stopped by. Again, please like, share, subscribe. We need you to help spread the Constitutionalist movement. Thank you again. Take care. God bless. Love you all.